Okay, and we are live. Thank you so much to our technical producer, Happy Phaleng, who just took us live for the second edition of Clinical Monday for 2023 on the 23rd of January, the second one, so to be a third. But we'll just call the second one because it's the second live. Nonetheless, good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time. Welcome to it. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Clinical Monday. And today we are discussing chemsex and helping you out. Chemsex and all you need to know. I almost want to say this thing that the preacher has been saying offline, but I will not. I'll receive it. I'm inviting you for your comments on the comment section below. If you want to be part of the conversation for this particular topic, you can send them through. We are live on Oral Pop's Facebook page. We are also on our YouTube channel. On YouTube, it is at Oral Pop. And you can find us on www.popin.org for the behind the scenes, and also on @in_health with the hashtag Clinical Monday. Today, my guest is Pontsho Komane, who is the manager of Oral Pop in Tshwane. And among many other things, I just want to give you a bit of a background of who he is. He started his nursing career in 2012. He has been working in the HIV unit. He was a NIMART, or rather, he was NIMART trained in 2014. He has worked in the hospital setting at OD Hospital in the HIV center. It was called Bukamo. So then in 2016, he was doing the aggregate outreach services as a nurse. Also had his discipline or his dispensary rather certificate in 2018, and he has joined Out Wellbeing in 2019, and utmost interest in serving key populations since they are the most vulnerable and special community. Now, like I said, he's a site coordinator for Orampop in Tshwane. It is based in Loftus 416 Cakenet Street in the first floor in building A. Pontsho, good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Today we are talking about chemsex. I hope you are ready for this. How are you feeling?
I'm good. V. And yourself?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm interested to hear how this conversation is going to pan out. Somebody says, I shall not name who. But apparently, which is quite interesting to think that, non-white individuals would not partake in chemsex. I mean, I think it's for everyone. Don't you agree?
No, it's for everyone, definitely. Yeah. Sex is a need, eh? Yeah. So
it is.
We all need it.
It's for everyone. Well, it might be recreative. I think it's called recreative sex, but give us a sense. What is chemsex, if you were to describe it?
So basically, to summarize it, chemsex it's a use of substance stimulants to enhance sexual pleasure.
So we are enhancing.
Yeah. Come again?
We are enhancing the stimulation of sexual intercourse, basically.
Yeah. So basically, if maybe you are at a 1 and you use substances, you go at a 10, then you're gonna give it all out.
Okay, I get you. And chemsex drugs, because I think it is, chem speaks to chemicals. In my head, it also refers to drugs, because I'm trying to make sense of it. But, are chemsex drugs prescribed or sold over the counter for that stimulant or to stimulate for us to go from 1 until 10? Where do we get these drugs? Are they prescribed? Do we get them over the counter?
So it depends which drugs are you looking for, But as for your cat, your crystal meth, and all that, those are illegal. So you get them in the black market, which is not safe at all. Yeah, but then again, we have poppers, which are stimulants, and then that you can find at your adult shops.
So there is, I want to say, in terms of maybe categorizing the drugs, there is hardcore. I'll call them hardcore because I think I'm struggling to find a proper way of putting it. But there is hardcore drugs, recreational or recreative drugs that are used for chemicals, and then there are not so hardcore. So poppers would be not so hardcore, and your cat, and then would be hardcore drugs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You correct. Yeah, you put it correctly there. Yeah. So with chemsex, basically how it happens with most of the individuals, they plan it. A group of MSM get together. They plan that for the weekend they're gonna have chemsex. So that's where they use your hardcore drugs, and then usually it happens for the whole weekend, from a Friday maybe to a Sunday, Yeah, and with the poppers, it's more like you and your partner. You wanna stimulate yourself just a bit, Then you can use, yeah, yeah,
Okay. I get that. It's quite interesting that they would have weekends away. I mean, weekends of just having, chem sex, or having sex that is enhanced with recreational drugs. What are some of the reasons why MSM? I think stimulation is one of them, but is there another reason beyond just stimulation of why men who have sex with other men would use chem sex, or would have chem sex?
yeah. So with a couple of interviews that we did to a group of MSM clients, so some of them they said they use it to relax the muscles, Some of them they said when they use chemsex, they last longer in bed, they get a hard boner for a long time.
Yeah.
Some of them they say it gives them an adrenaline rush, so they get wild and all that. And another interesting one, it was from a MSM who's a bottom. So he said, I hope this doesn't, yeah.
Yeah.
But he said when he uses chemsex, the muscles relax. In the terms of that, he can even take a big dip because, yeah, everything relaxes.
Whoa! Okay, that's interesting. I think we should invite them to be part of this conversation. So it is not only for stimulation, but it was also to relax the muscles, so that you are able to, maybe perhaps go to certain extremes of your sexual engagement. So quite interesting. Well, it's an interesting reason. What are the most then common drugs? I think we touched on Ket, but what are some of the common drugs that are used when one engages in chemsex? Well, I know Ket is one. You touched on. Did you say Coke or Mendrix? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's methamphetamine, which is your crystal meth, also known as Tina crank. Then we also have the methadone, which is known as meth or Mew Mew for the cat. Yeah, and we also have your poppers. Yeah, which is an inhalant. Yeah,
those are the most common. When you touch on cat and them, I'm thinking about the common drugs that are in the streets, right? These are common drugs that we find at every corner, especially I think in the entire South Africa. But I'm thinking about these, drugs that we find at every street corner. Now, it cannot be used, right? What is it called? I'm looking for the term for it for English. I think it's called something different in English. But we look at Nyaope, it cannot be used for chemsex.
Yeah, I think with Nyaope, it's a relaxant, and then you relax a lot than you're supposed to. Remember, you're supposed to perform, supposed to be wild, you're supposed to do the things. So with Nyaope, it will give you an opposite reaction to that. You'll be sleeping while standing and all that.
Yeah. Okay. So then also weed. I know weed is not part of. Weed is not part of drugs, but growing up, it was also used as a stimulant to stimulate. I don't want to say sexual stimulant, but it was used as a kind of a stimulant. Would also weed be part of the drugs, or all this kind of stimulants for chemsex?
Yeah. So with weed treats individuals differently. A person can smoke weed and just sleep now. Someone can smoke weed and be active, eat the whole grocery food and all that, So it depends on what it does to you, Yeah. But basically, if it stimulates you, then you'll be under the influence. So it will work for you. Yeah.
Most definitely. I hear you. Do you think that there is, do you think that if drugs are mixed, because now one stimulant, or rather, one would be chasing that stimulant to perform at the optimum level. So perhaps maybe they might want to experiment, maybe use weed with, okay, depending if how weed like treats them or how they react after smoking weed. So it would be maybe perhaps let's use weed with cat, or mandrax, or cat with poppers. So in terms of like that kind of mixing drugs, does it work? Have you had cases of that happening? And I want to say, is it recommendable to some extent?
Hell no.
Yeah.
So remember with the drugs, sometimes we don't know the strength and all that. So the more drugs you take is the more, your heart pumps faster and all that. So if you mix, not being sure of the strength and all that, you might end up having a cardiac arrest, which is a heart attack. Yeah, so it's not advisable to mix and all that.
Yeah. Once I don't know then how, if this question would be then suitable to say, then the common causes of cardiac heart attacks, heart failure, basically, or heart attacks that are happening within men who have sex with men, and I'm just assuming here, just a disclaimer, would then be caused by, or the cause could be that they are using chemsex, or there's a lot of drug in their body that is stimulant, because I get they're looking for that rush. So maybe that could cause them a heart attack. Is that possible?
Yeah, but basically we cannot just say only chemsex. Some guys, they take your Viagra's, which are vasodilators, and once you take a vasodilator, the vessels open and the blood rushes through. So if you can take an overdose, it can rush and then overload the heart, then get a heart attack. So it can be many things.
It can be many things. Is a one of the drugs to use for chemsex? I mean, I'm thinking about longevity, and I mean, Viagra is proven for that, which one allows longer and all that. Can it be used for chemsex or during chemsex?
Come again? Can what? Can which drug? I didn't get that.
Can Viagra be used? Because I'm thinking as a stimulant. Can Viagra be used as part of chemsex?
Yeah, it can, because it stimulates. It gives you the long run and all that.
Yeah. Do we know the drugs? Okay, I think we answered this. We spoke about this because you gave us a list of the drugs that are used. One of them which it's been catered. Now we're getting that Viagra is okay. But I want to talk about the interaction between PrEP and people engaging in chemsex. Would PrEP still be effective in chemsex, or would the risk then be too high? And perhaps we touch on the risk as well. On how high is the risk when people engage in chemsex, especially if they're not using a condom.
So it depends, man. If it's that kind of chemsex that we planned that the whole weekend we're gonna go somewhere for a getaway, then we're gonna have crazy sex throughout the weekend, chances are PrEP won't be effective because you might forget to take your pill, Yeah. But if you're gonna take your pill, you have an alarm or something, you don't forget, then PrEP will work for you. It has no adverse reaction with the drugs. Yeah. Just need you to be on par and just remember the time to take your meds.
Yeah. So this is both ED PrEP and daily PrEP.
Yeah, we can say that. Yeah. So even if with ED PrEP, as long as you can take the loading dose, after 2 hours you have your sex, then you make sure that the following day, the right time you take that one pill, then you're gonna be fine. And the other day, but the moment you start forgetting your pills because you are under the influence and all that, then it becomes a problem. Yeah. So it all depends on how they do it.
Yeah. Let's talk about. Let's say, for instance, I've had a crazy sex weekend, and I was on chemsex, and I forgot to take my pill. Then now I want to start taking PP, or that which will be putting me on PEP. Does it? Obviously, I think the 72-hour period needs to be questioned. You need to find out when was my last exposure, and I think it will then depend if I then will be put on PEP. would PP then be effective in that?
Yeah, as long as PP is taken within the 72 hours frame, and you're gonna take it the way you're supposed to take it daily and all that, then PP will definitely work.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the risk then. How high is the risk of being infected, or rather of exposure when it comes to people that engage in chemsex? Would it be too risky, or is it not? Where are we sitting when it comes to the risk of that?
No, it's very, very risky. Hey? Remember, you're under the influence. You know, you are wild. You want to explore. You know, you're not taking caution. Well, it depends on an individual. Some guys will say, you know what, no condom, no sex. Yeah, but some guys will go with the flow and all that. You know, so it all depends on the individual. Yeah,
I got you. So it all depends. So I guess then you know, the viewers just have to use their own discretion in this regard to say, what condom is it? Condom, I mean, is it sex without a condom, or is it you know, sex with a condom, ED prep and all that? So they just need to use their own discretion. I wanted to speak about alcohol, and I think now I'm sort of like getting the answer, but just for the sake of the conversation, alcohol also could possibly play a huge role in this, because I mean, I'm imagining the sex parties. I mean, they went for the whole weekend. You know, besides us getting stimulated, we might need alcohol. So alcohol definitely could play a role in chemsex parties, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely, because it will also increase the stimuli and all that. You know, and you know, when you're under the influence, you know, even the way your thought of thinking, you become relaxed. You know, everything becomes okay. Yeah, you know, then that's where problem can be.
Yeah, most definitely. If you just joined us, welcome to it. We're discussing chemsex. What are some of your chemsex stories that you've heard? Is for the first time you're hearing? I think this is my second conversation I'm hearing when it comes to chemsex. But I'm interested to find out what you are saying, or rather what you have experienced when it comes to sex. There's a question there. He's asking, or nah? I think we've answered that. You spoke about weed being, you know, a stimuli, yes, but we react differently to weed as in different. So I think we've sort of like answered that, but we are taking some of your comments on the comment section on Facebook, also on our YouTube channel. On YouTube, it is at Orampop. Find us on Twitter at in_health. We are discussing a chemsex this morning with Pontsho Komane. So we sort of like spoke about the different kinds of drugs and all that, and I think we sort of like spoke about then the risks. I want to then touch on STIs. I think they are also playing a huge role. Does it mean that if I have had STI medication, let's say I'm during a course and then I decide to engage in sexual I decide to engage in chemsex parties, or chemsex, let me not say parties, but just say chemsex in general, does it mean that I will not be affected with an STI because I'm on a course, or will I still be reinfected? You know, take us through that.
Yeah, so with STIs, basically, if let's say you get an STI, we give you medication, you have to finish the course within a certain time, you know. So let's say we said 7 days, then you take it for 5 days, then you go to a chemsex party, have sex, find someone who has an infection. Unfortunately, you're gonna get a reinfection. Yeah, so it means you're gonna get it again. Yeah, and then you'll need more antibiotics to complete the course. Yeah, and you know, with chemsex, you know, come again?
Yeah. I want to say, what do I do? Do I go back? Do I come back to pop in and say, I was on a course for 28 days or whatever time, but then unfortunately I went to Camp David's or factory or whatever nude bar out there, then I engaged and I might be at risk of exposure. Do I start that entire process all over again?
Yeah, so basically, for you to come back, you'll be having some symptoms, signs and symptoms, you know. It's like maybe, let's say, for example, you have a penile discharge, something coming out of the penis. Then you take the antibiotics for 3 days, the discharge will stop. Then 2 more days, then you go to a chemsex party. Then after a day, the discharge starts again. Then it means that something went wrong, you need to come back. Then we start the treatment again. Then we give you for the certain course. Yeah.
I see you. I want to talk about the common STIs also. And I know we are headed for the week of sexual reproduction health, and I think the big talk is going to be syphilis or syphilis, depending how you pronounce it. Could syphilis potentially be one of the biggest STIs contributing to, or rather, in terms of infection when we have chemsex? And what are some of other common STIs that you see from people that have just engaged in chemsex?
Yeah, so basically with sex, you can get any STI, but most common it's syphilis, it's chlamydia, what else? Yeah, syphilis, chlamydia, hepatitis B. Yeah. So those are the most common.
Yeah. I want us to then explore the symptoms, because somebody might think it's a different kind of an STI, or it's not an STI, but potentially could be an STI. So I just had chemsex weekend. It's 5 days later. I think I'm clean. I think I'm safe, but I'm starting to see symptoms. If I were to have syphilis, what would be those first symptoms that will scream I have syphilis?
So it can be many things, but most common, some guys get a rash, especially they get a rash the whole body, fine rash. Yeah. Then it comes to your penile discharges. You'll find a client that something is coming out of the penis, some discharge. Then it comes bending on maturation. Whenever they go to the toilet, it bends. Yeah. Sometimes others will have anal discharge. There'll be some pus coming out from the anal. Yeah. Yeah, and it's unfortunate that sometimes, even with syphilis, someone will have no symptoms. They'll be just okay, but then their partner will have symptoms. Then when the partner comes through, we're like, who are you sleeping with? Do they have symptoms? Then you're like, no, I'm sleeping with V, but V has nothing. And then when we call V to the clinic, we were like, no, I didn't do anything. I have no symptoms. But just to find out that it is there, Yeah. So it's a bit tricky sometimes. Yeah, that's why whenever you have a... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm saying that's why whenever you have an STI, we need to make sure that we treat you and your partner. Yeah, the two of you. Yeah. That's why when you come in, we can give you a partner notification slip that you give your partner to come through to pop in. Sure.
Most definitely. I wanted to also actually say that and say, then it is quite important in that regard to say somebody who comes and get tested for or has symptoms of syphilis and they get tested for it, that they also need to bring their partner to be treated, because then it wouldn't be a never-ending cycle that that person will be reinfected and not know how they be. But they're taking their medication. I wanted to talk about PP and chemsex. Can it be abused? I think we think that PP, it's an emergency thing. After 72 hours or during 72 hours, whatever process is followed, you get on PP. But I feel like it can be abused. Can PP be abused? And can your body get to a point where it says, as in, you've been PEPing me, I am not responding anymore?
So besides chemsex, PEP can be abused. Can be abused by you, can be abused by me, Some people, they use PEP like a condom. We have sex today, I'm sure that I have 3 days. Within 3 days, I run to Loftus, get my PEP and all that, And one thing you need to know about PEP, it's not nice. Because firstly, you have to take it for 28 days. Secondly, you have to take it each and every single day at a certain time, Yeah. But yeah, it can be abused by everyone. Yeah. And as long as you're taking it at time, it'll always protect you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely, I can see the potential of it being abused. And lastly, then, how important is maybe like health checkups? If we are scheduling chemsex parties or if we're having chemsex, we definitely need to check our bodies and see how we are responding, or how safe we are, and how out of harm's way we are, and especially when it comes to the exposure of HIV. How common, or rather, how often should one come for checkups? Is it after every chemsex interaction, or is it before that, or is it how long should it be, that entire process?
So basically, in Pop-In, we preach that each and every client must test every 3 months. You know, each and every 3 months, you must come back, check your status, check what's happening. Yeah. So you can also combine it with STI screening and all that, you know, just to make sure that things are okay. Because, you know, if you know you attend chemsex parties, you are obviously at risk. Yeah. So it's better for a person to come check every 3 months just to see what's happening, whether they have symptoms or not. Yeah.
Most definitely. Pontsho, thank you so much for your time. You guys are at 416 Cakeness Street, Loftus Park Shopping Center, opening Monday to Friday. Is the clinic still open? Saturday? Yes. I want to share with you on that. Also, Monday to Saturday, you can most definitely pop in and get your treats. If you are somebody that engages in chemsex, we are here. The doors are open for you to come through and get assistance. Pontsho, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your Monday. I hope to see you on the next one, hopefully 3 months from now. But we'll check. But thank you for your time.
Thank you, V. Thank you. Yeah, and I just want to say one thing, that to the clients, they must remember that our services are free of charge.
Most definitely free of charge. Monday to Saturday, make sure that you pop in to get your services. With that, we just wrapped up yet another edition on Clinical Monday, rather, on chemsex. All you need to know, and you can continue sharing your comments with us on the comment section below, and give us, some of your experiences. We are more than welcome to do so. If you have any questions, make sure that you do pop in. And get to that question answered. We are all ready for you on all our social media platforms, especially on Twitter and on TikTok. Oh, you just got a message coming through. It is from LinkedIn. It says, on the issue of PPE, one thing health providers should do is to check the history of the clients who are repeatedly PPEs should be offered prep. Oh, okay. That's another comment. I don't know if Pontsho, you want to jump on that if you are seeing that comment. That is from Radingwana
Pule.
Who's saying if a client that it comes for.
So basically Pule is on point. Yeah. So if you're always coming for PP, you might as well get on daily prep. Then you are safe, no need for you to come back here. Yeah. So that's a good valid point. Yeah. So.
Yeah, unless if a client also agrees to be on PEP, and then for some weird reason drops out of the course and then come back again, then they want to be put back again after exposure. Unless if then that's an exceptional case where they will need to be reinitiated. Definitely. But nonetheless, Pontsho, thank you so much. Pule, thank you very much for that comment. I'm going to see you next week, Monday. Is it still Jan? Yes. I'm going to see you next week, Monday for Clinical Monday. But otherwise, we are resuming It's a Wrap in February. We're most excited to sit down with your LGBTQI personalities who are doing the most in their respective field. But until then, I'm going to see you next week, Monday. Happy streaming. Bye.
Bye.